Hi, it's Gary from Alternate History 100. One of the most popular ideas in the genre is, what if the Axis powers won World War II? It's one that I didn't really want to touch, but not because so many have already done it. My reluctance comes from the fact that I so thoroughly disagree with the usual narrative on this topic, and that my own scenario does not have the legs to make a great episode. Because of this, I am going to repeat what I did in my episode, What if Robert Kennedy was not assassinated? There is no classroom today, and I am not playing the role of Professor Hill. This is just the two of us, connected by my microphone and your listening device, as I talk about why this is not a great topic. First of all, there is no clear-cut point of divergence that leads to an Axis victory. You would need multiple divergences to make it happen. A German victory in the Battle of Britain and a Japanese victory at Midway would only be the beginning. Many other things would have to change to give Hitler and Hirohito the win. It seems highly unlikely that all of them could happen. And even if they did, I don't think the final Axis victory would look anything like the various fictional versions we have seen over the years. The Man in the High Castle is a great story because it has sympathetic protagonists pitted against the greatest evil imaginable. But is it plausible? Could America really have been occupied? Let's crunch the numbers on that. The United States has an area of more than 3.5 million square miles. Texas alone is bigger than France, and that nation tied up 500,000 German soldiers on occupation duty. Do you know how many it would take to keep America? And Canada, let's not forget them. Under control? There wouldn't be enough between Germany and Japan combined, especially with all the other occupations those nations were already doing. So where does that leave the story? Well, I can see a three-cornered Cold War, with the Germans consolidating their positions in Europe, the Japanese doing the same in East Asia, and the United States claiming hegemony in the Western Hemisphere. There would be a race to develop rockets and atomic bombs, but the conflict would only heat up if one of them got to the finish line far ahead of the others. I don't see that happening. The Germans and Japanese would be quite busy with partisan rebellions in the territories they had already conquered, and America would live in an uneasy peace as she surreptitiously slipped weapons to those partisans. There would be no swastikas flying over Washington, and no California girls pressed into service as comfort women for Japanese soldiers. There would just be a tense peace, or more accurately, a tense absence of war. And that's not much of a story. For Alternate History 100, this is Gary Wheeler signing off. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a more conventional episode. Until then, keep thinking and make some history of your own.